My name is Eric Lee, and I'm a physical therapist at Advanced Physical Therapy and the clinical manager at our 927 Broadway location. We have both physical therapy and occupational therapy. We treat a variety of patients, and including pediatrics, sports medicine, work injury, and arthritis, and anything in between. We're like kind of like a family around at Advance, and we like to get to know people and see them progress, but really like to develop their relationship with them. We appreciate you choosing Advanced Physical Therapy. We know you have all kinds of choices when it comes to physical therapy, and we appreciate you choosing Advance.
Welcome to What the Schuck, the podcast. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Schuckman, and joining me for a special edition of Prep Hoops Talk, Quincy High School boys basketball coach Andy Douglas and Quincy Notre Dame boys basketball coach Kevin Meyer ahead of Saturday night's Crosstown Showdown. Howdy, fellas.
Good to see you, man. Good to be here.
How's everybody today?
Good.
Yeah.
Talk a little basketball.
Well, I know you both have games Friday night, which are of high importance because both are conference games. And then there's this game going on Saturday night at the Pit. Are you ready?
Ready for Friday night? Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's the interesting thing about it is you've got to be prepared. Your guys have to be prepared for Friday night first. They can't get caught up in thinking about a crosstown game and the excitement of it until they get through Friday night.
Yeah, I think that's the way we've always approached it. We've talked about that. I mean, again, this is the seventh year of going through this. That Friday night is always the first one because it doesn't matter if it's a conference game or whatever, but you're going to stumble if you're already looking past that to get to Saturday. So, now that we both are in a conference and playing those games, it's our first conference game this year. It's our first road game this year as well. So there's a lot of emphasis on that one on Friday night before we can talk about Saturday.
Yeah, and that's kind of been how we've approached it all the way through, along with those guys as well. Your focus has to be on Friday night. If you start talking about, whatever it is, it could be Batavia last week, you start talking about them and trying to mix in Sterling and Batavia or Moline and Q&D, you will stumble a little on Friday night. We've seen that. We've tried to do that in the past, and it hasn't really worked out well for us. So, us having younger guys, those guys having some young guys as well, for a lot of them, it's going to be their first at going at a weekend like this, and you want to keep their minds, as standard as possible, as it's been throughout the year as possible, and that's kind of our approach.
The interesting thing is both of your teams have experience in playing, even as young as they are, in front of big crowds. I obviously didn't have that experience last year, but this is a little different because it is all of Quincy there in the gym. Do you guys feel that there's a different atmosphere for your guys as they come into that game?
Yeah, the atmosphere, absolutely. I think when you look at it, whether it's at their place or at our place, you hope to have a packed house for them. I think that's part of the allure of playing a game like this is you're giving your kids an opportunity and experience more than anything else. I think when you look at when I played, and I'm sure you could echo the same thing, you talk about more experiences than you do individual games. Now, this happens to be one of both of those. It's an experience and it's a game. But no, those are the things that you talk about 20 years down the line. In your case, 40 years down the line, after you're done playing.
I didn't think there'd be any shots fired today.
Early, but all right.
Wow.
Time to dig out the material.
Yeah, when you come in and he gets placed at the golden microphone, I figured I got a shot. Fire at least one shot.
That was a pretty good one.
Sorry, we don't have a Blue Devil Blue microphone cover for you.
We'll get it spray painted.
But Kevin, to echo his, how do your guys adapt to that atmosphere? Because it is a little different than even the big games you normally play.
Oh my goodness! Even the big games that I think both of us have played, home or away, there's always the other crowd, the other team's crowd that, you don't see them the next day. You don't see them 2 weeks later. You don't see them at church, the grocery store, wherever. This one, it doesn't matter where you go for the next 365 days. Somebody saw that game. They're going to approach you and talk to you about it. Most people handle it really, really well. There's a few that get in some digs, but that's what makes this one so much fun. And I I think we've done a great job. I feel like we've done a really, really good job with it of promoting it as Quincy basketball, not us against each other. There's the one night that we're going to keep score. There's going to be a winner and a loser. We won last year. He's beat me 5 out of 6 times, and I want to play this game every single time. I think this is, and I tease it. His teams beat our teams. That's what it comes down to. I didn't score a point. He tried to shoot one, but he didn't score. But
he's never been shy about shooting the basketball.
You'll get a kick. We were sitting last night. Ball comes in the stands, I'm trying to get it because I'm going to throw it back to the refs. He's starting to loosen up to shoot it already. So, again, the fun stuff that
got to stay ready.
That's right. Shoot or shoot.
That's right. Shoot or shoot.
Yeah.
But makers make.
There's something about makers.
Yeah, a lot.
But you made a really good point there. Whether you grew up playing on the hard courts at Berry Ann Park or Johnson Park or in your own driveway or the whatever small school, grade school gym you played in growing up, basketball is part of Quincy's community. And this is a celebration of that each and every year.
Yeah, and the fun part about it, our kids have now grown up into it, that they've played in it every single year. We didn't get that chance. So those games that were at Berry Ann, we could have beat your team that year. Yeah. And we both have guys that are in our age groups, we'll say, that always talk about, if Notre Dame would have played Quincy High that year, there's no way you could have played with us. And then there's always the one, well, you know what, I think our team could have matched up. Our guys have grown up into that with that fun philosophy and that thought that they're going to play the Blue Devils every single year. They're going to play the Raiders every single year. That's what makes it fun and special, too, because now you got dads talking about it, you got some grandpas, you got some relatives that talk that, again, back in my day kind of deal, that would have loved this opportunity. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's old hat for our kids. I think everybody still gets excited about it. But until that day, it's that game that sits out there on the schedule. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It really does.
It really is a celebration of Quincy basketball, and I think from both sides, and you throw in the colleges as well. Quincy's blessed with the programs that they have all the way across the board. So it's really fun when you're able to compete against the Q&D here in town, and for me being able to go up against a good friend and Kevin here, it's always a fun night. It's you asked about do you feel it, and you feel you see that the crowd is huge, and you feel that the environment might be a little different, but it's still a game, it's still a competition, and to be able to go up against a guy like this has always been a fun thing. And I to piggyback on what you just talked about, I think also you have where I didn't think you had that a lot back when I was growing up. These guys are friends. They're around each other. In some circumstances, playing together. In the summertime and that type of thing. They're friends in a lot of aspects as well. So that provides a little difference to it as well.
And Kevin, I look back to when you and I were in high school, and the matchups, just the pickup games at the Y.
Oh yeah.
Could get brutal.
Those were fun. I go back to Danny Sparrow and Eric Stratman talking so much trash because of the Blue Devil and everything else, and I'm like, play us, And I would have loved to have seen Coach Keys and Coach Leggett going at it at either place, or had the opportunity to play, at each place like we've had. That would have been so special. I think the funnest part for me is seeing our guys hug after the game and talk, and like Andy said, they see each other, they work together at Hy-Vee, they work at different places. They're friends. I mean, it's one night, 32 minutes of competition, and then after that, we're one big family again. I'm on record as saying I'm a huge fan of Andy. It doesn't matter where he's been coaching. I truly consider him a friend and a brother. I love watching his teams play. I try and steal some stuff from them, as much as we possibly can. We go watch them, not to scout, but just to watch and learn something. There's great respect, I think, between both programs and even our college programs that go back and forth through this Quincy. Through Quincy, it's a great basketball town.
How much do you think it helps in terms of creating a I don't want to say a friendly atmosphere, but a savvy atmosphere for fans and a quality atmosphere that the two of you get along and show that, because you interact with each other on the sidelines during these games, whether it's spirited or whether it's joke or the casual laugh, but the fact is, in public, like what we're doing today and what you've done in the past with things, you guys have a good relationship. How much do you think that carries over to making sure that the fans and this whole game gets portrayed the right way?
Well, I think it's big, and I think when you think about it, as easily as this game is played, it could be taken away. You know what I mean? So you also have to keep that in mind. We're competing, they're competing, but you got to do it the right way, and that's something that both programs teach, regardless of who the opponent is. So we wouldn't expect anything from the sidelines or while we're out playing anything to go array. But I think that's important for our fans to understand as well. Is this is a great opportunity, an opportunity that's going to be remembered for a lifetime. Something that kids will be able to talk about. We'll be able to talk about for years. Let's make sure that we have the respect needed to keep this thing going.
I think a part of that too is that as the keepers of our programs, so we're both alum. We recognize that it is a pretty special event. Didn't get a chance to do it, but we're also trying to make sure that we're teaching our guys the right things. I don't know. I mean, I think, obviously Jeremiah's a D1 kid, and maybe he's going to be playing in the league someday. But for the most part, our kids are going to be guys that are going to be in this community 5 and 10 years down the road, that have to work side by side and have to be friends and do things the right way. And I think that's one thing that we try and do. Our guys, I don't think we have knuckleheads on the floor, and guys that go out there and try and do dirty things and cheap things, and they play the game the right way. I think we try and represent ourselves and our schools the right way, and again, that's what makes it kind of special. I love being a Raider. He loves being a Blue Devil. It's one night like that, and then after that, we're fans of each other again.
I think one of the interesting things about this game, and it evolves into every sport, in the Quincy I versus Notre Dame matchups, is I look back when, Kevin, when you and I were in high school, and all the different guys who we were friends with from the other school, whether it was my friendship with John Frankenhoff or the guys in my grade, Brian Dieters, Tom Pepping, and those guys who we were. I mean, you grow up in the Catholic schools, you get to know each other, you play against each other in the CYO. Doesn't matter which high school you go to, you're still friends.
Yeah.
Except for that one night, basically, whether it's on the pitch or on the baseball diamond or on the court.
Again, that goes back to a lot of those traveling teams from back then, anyway. That we all play. There was only one team. If it was our soccer team, if it was a basketball team, it was trying to put the best guys together and go play something. That's changed a little bit, but I do think that the piece of the guys interacting makes it really, really special. You're right. We still have friends that I married a Blue Devil. I'm on record with that. That was one of the rules back in high school and college, was don't check that box, and dang it, she was just too wonderful. So
the smart buyer, the smart buyer now.
You just got some brownie points.
Again, I hope she watches this. Somebody please tell her.
I tell her that every day at the high school, so don't worry.
I married a Mustang, so
see,
so I'm keeping my county roots there tied in.
Those are clicks right there.
Yeah, they are. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's right.
I feel like I have to say now, I outkicked my coverage.
Oh, you did. But
so
everybody knows that.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, look at the 3 kids. Yeah, we know they got their character and their looks and their everything from Linda.
Oh. Yeah,
athleticism,
look just like
ability.
me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We haven't touched on that yet.
I guarantee you haven't.
Last year was a unique one because of COVID, because of the no.
Because we won.
How much are you guys looking forward to it just being more of a natural atmosphere, natural game? Normal as best we can at this time of everything going on, but there's going to be fans in the stands.
That's a huge thing, and that's something that I talked to a couple former guys that came and watched us over the Thanksgiving tournament, and we kind of echoed the same sentiment of, man, it was emotional stepping into the gym and seeing people in the stands. It's something that you know is important, but until you lose it and then gain it back, it's like, man, that the emotions were crazy that tournament, and even still to this day playing. So to have fans back in the stands again, it's about experiences, it's about relationship building, and at the tail end of that, it's about competing and winning games. But a lot comes before that when you talk about what kids are, should learn before, or when they leave your program to move on. And to have people back in the stands, I think is huge for everybody involved. When you think of the city, our Thanksgiving night was the most packed night that we had. I think people were just eager to get back and experience being around other people and being back in Blue Devil Gym or the pit. So it's definitely important.
Even the atmosphere last year for this game, it was energetic, but it was mostly because of the band.
Yeah.
I mean, the band played the whole time, and that's one thing I love about Blue Devil band. That helped it, and helped fill the gym. But to have everybody at the pit this year, to be able to have a live audience in there, the fun part, even right now, just looking at Twitter, looking at the student sections going back and forth, our kids are amped up for it. Both schools. Both schools are going through finals this week. This is a great kind of like end of the first quarter, end of the first half of the school year for them. They're looking for normal just as much as I think our players and us. So it's a great piece for our student body as well. I'm looking forward to it.
This game goes back and forth every year, home and home. So last year was at Blue Devil Gym. This year you moved back to the pit. What makes the pit unique for this setting?
You want to go first?
Talking to me or him?
Either of you.
It's an intimate place to play, and it's kind of unlike any other place that we do play. Alleman is a smaller gym, but it doesn't carry the character that Notre Dame has. So, when fans are sitting right on top of you, that adds, that's a different dynamic, to go against. I think the student sections have both been great. But it's a fun place to play. The atmosphere is phenomenal there. The echoes that you hear throughout the night, both good and bad, whether it's our guys cheering or theirs cheering, it adds to it.
It's not like a football game where the kids are so many, they're miles apart.
Yeah.
They're right there on top of you. When it's rocking, I'm biased. I love, the pit. I love running out. Our guys coming through the tunnel and the band starts playing, and you're getting amped up and ready to go. You call timeout, and there's 20 people literally sitting there looking at your board as you're drawing stuff up. Got to be a little careful what you're saying during those. Sometimes you pull your timeout and you go out on the floor instead of right on your bench. But it gets loud. The echoes I hear sometimes are Keys' voice yelling at Meyer, and what are you doing, and some of that stuff. But I think, again, that's what makes Quincy special. We have two really good venues. They're different. If you want to, the atmosphere and the tradition and the history is there for both of them. It's just a little bit different. The pregame ceremony, the paint on the wall, all the special things that happen at Blue Devil Gym. We've got the Raider up on there. We've got the band sitting right there on the floor. Yeah. You kind of pick out, that's the alumni section. Those are the parents that are yelling back at the coaching staff. You got the alumni sitting up top. So that's when it's full, and darn it better be full on Saturday night, because it's important for our kids. Get out there and watch these kids play. But I don't think there's a better place to play than Quincy Notre Dame in the pit.
Now, obviously, we've talked that you guys have games Friday night, and Notre Dame, you're going to Central, going to Camp Point. Moline's coming to Blue Devil Gym for a Western Big Six Conference game, West Central Conference game at Camp Point on Friday night. But Saturday night's going to get a lot of people excited. What do you like about your teams going into this weekend? And it's a weekend. It's not just Saturday night, because you got to play Friday night. You got Saturday night. What do you like about your teams right now? Start with you, Andy.
I like where our focus is. I think, and where our team is right now. I've been asked by multiple people, are you surprised where they're at, or is this what you expected? And I think it's right in the middle. I think they've exceeded my expectations as far as where we're at right now. But with that, now it's your expectations jump as a coach. Like, okay, now you're here. You're a step higher than I thought you'd be. Well, now you got to get to 2, 3, 4 more steps, ahead of where you are. So I think that part has been good. I think our kids are. They just have the mindset, that they just want to compete against whoever's on the schedule, and it doesn't matter who it is. And that's something that has been great to see. They haven't gotten too high on big-time opponents, and they haven't gotten too low either, on opponents that they think that they can, beat, as i.e. in Alleman. They came ready to play. So that part has been good. I also, at the same time, I have some concerns, too, with how young we are. And these guys haven't been in an environment like this before. How are we going to handle that? We don't have the leadership to fall back on as far as many guys that have been through that process. We do have a couple guys that have been through it, and we're really trying to lean on those guys. I know Jeremiah, for one, has done a really good job. Tehran being a guy that's been in this situation before. Ralph, to an extent, being in this situation before. They've been guys that all season long our younger lineups can go to and look to for advice along with the coaching staff. So that's been good, but it's going to be interesting to see how this weekend plays out. It's an important one for sure.
For us, I'm really excited how we're starting to buy into our defensive identity. I think we tease each other all the time about shooters and makers and all that kind of stuff. But we've been really harping on them about there's a winner and a loser every possession, and we got to put together a streak of wins within the game, and they're finally starting to do that defensively. We're adjusting some roles. We made some moves with lineups and stuff like that. The guys have really bought into it. Team chemistry is really, really good right now. We're getting shots. We got to start getting some more makes. That's probably my biggest frustration for our guys is just consistency around the basket and knocking down some shots. But it's a special group, even though, again, we're kind of in the same boat. I feel like we're junior loaded with 2 seniors that will be able to play this weekend. But really only 2 or 3 guys that have been through this game and have had roles, and they're different. Jake Hoyt started it as a freshman, had Grant, had other guys around him that I can just kind of go run and hide a little bit. Now it's the spotlight's on you. You're the ball handler. Wally was a guy freshman year that came in and played a little bit in the middle of his zone, and then last year had a little bit of a role. That's different this year as well. Yep. So they've got to grow into that, and I think that's been fun seeing both teams with our younger guys growing into their roles. And I mean, just to see his guys playing with just the amount of confidence they have, especially the couple freshmen, that's impressive. And that goes to what he does as a coach.
You made an interesting point earlier. You brought up 2 names.
Well, thank you.
Of guys.
Point them all out.
We got both of them.
Yeah. But you brought up 2 names of guys who never got the chance to be part of this game. And Bob Keys and Jerry Leggett, who were 2 guys who left an imprint on both of these programs. Any chance Saturday night, Kevin, that you come out with a cowboy hat on, and Andy, that you come out with a towel over your shoulder ready to wave in honor of those guys?
At least you didn't say cowboy hat with me.
He's got boots and chaps and everything.
That's it.
I think for me, as much as I love Bob Keys and all the things, there's only one Bob that could pull off that cowboy hat and do that. We might do something different. Might find something different to honor him. But this game is not about us, and it's not as much as we want to promote the tradition of our program. It's about those kids that are going to be playing on the floor. So if they want to wear cowboy hats and towels, go for it.
It's just fun. It's fun to reminisce about those guys who influence those programs. But you're absolutely right. This game is about those 15 kids on each sideline, or however many are on each of your rosters, taking part in this game and the memories they create that they'll remember down the road.
There's no doubt about it. And I think that's the job of a coach. That's obviously you want to win, and I think we're two of the more competitive guys out there. But when it comes down to it, the game of basketball and whatever sport you're coaching, it's so much more than just that. And if that's all I tell guys this, mainly when I get on them a whole lot, but like if that's all I teach you is how to be a better ball handler, a better shooter, or work within a team, offensively or defensively, then I've failed my job. And that's not why I got into it. I know it's not why he got into the game of coaching. So, it's important for us to provide kids with as many moments as they can, as we can. Last year that was taken away from us. We were forced to do without team meals and travel and fans in the stands and all that stuff, which played into it. I still feel bad to this day that we weren't able to provide that. Not that I took it away, but that it was taken away.
Right.
So now to be able to give our kids that opportunity to go to the pit and play, compete against Q&D, travel to Collinsville and play, like all those things. Like it's like you get a toy taken away the day after Christmas. You can't wait to get that toy back and play with it. Well, we're in a position now where we're able to do some of those things that we missed out on, and it's important.
You no longer take those things for granted.
Not at all. No. Not at all. I think as you age, and I've really been able to, especially this year, kind of slow some things down a little bit within my life and just focus more in on some of those moments and trying to get our guys to do the same thing, and understanding too that some of that goes in one ear and out the other because they are teenagers, and I did the same thing. I know you guys did the same things as well, but still not stopping on our end to help these kids become better men in the long run.
I think a lot of the stories that kids tell end up from a bus trip. End up from the Collinsville, the State Farm.
No doubt.
Those are the things that
the hotel rooms of the Madden tournaments, or the going out to eat, or whatever happens.
8 years from now, 10 years from now, that's what they remember just as much. I mean, this game again they remember.
Yeah.
But what did you do on December 6th against Hannibal? And I'm not trying to discount other teams on our schedule and stuff, but there's things like that maybe I scored 16 points that game. That's an individual thing, but when you get together with your guys and your group, then you start talking about those things that happened outside. And when you lost those, again, I'm with Andy. I feel horrible for our group of seniors and even our guys that are playing right now. I mean, my son's a sophomore in high school, and he still hasn't experienced a full-blown school day of something that I did at Quincy Notre Dame, or the normal piece of what happened. When you get that taken away from it, it's easy for us to talk about what we lost. Some of those guys don't even know what they lost, and that's regrettable too, because they don't have that memory of being able to say, gosh, that was so much fun at State Farm. Or, when we went to Collinsville and Coach took us for ice cream or whatever, put that challenge out, take your kids for ice cream. But doing something that's fun and different that they weren't expecting. All of a sudden they get to see us as normal guys and dads, which we both are, and husbands and family guys, not just the hard ass that says get your butt on the line and run. So I think they get to see us. Guys don't get to see that last year, and I think that's what's hopefully everybody is appreciating, getting to play some normal basketball and doing some things a little bit closer to normal this year.
I think Saturday night's going to be a lot of fun in that regard. It's going to be a little more normal because it's going to be packed.
Sure.
And face it, it's just going to be a great atmosphere and a great night for basketball.
Yeah.
Not as great as it would be playing at our place, but yeah, it'd be all right. It'll be okay.
Goodness sakes. Oh my
I know. I'm looking forward to it. Sharing the sideline with this guy is always fun to do. And when we talked a lot about coaches or players' memories, we're able to make some of those memories as well during this game, and that's important. I think we've always had a mutual respect for one another, but this game has drawn us closer together as friends and brothers as well. So got a lot of love for this guy, and looking forward to competing on Saturday night.
It got sappy there for a second.
I need a tissue.
We need to get to Saturday night so you guys can actually maybe butt heads a little bit.
That's how you talk to your guys.
Well, thank you both for coming into the Muddy Buddy studio and hanging out with me for a while. I look forward to Saturday night. Should be fun. Should be a lot of fun.
See what you're going to wear. You're just asking us. I want to see where your loyalties are going to fall on Saturday night, because there's a whole lot of Raider family that watches and reads Muddy River News and Sports too there. So make sure Bob knows that.
I think it's pretty simple. Mizzou black and gold, right?
That's garbage.
Oh, wow.
That's the last time I come into here.
Rock chalk?
No, let's not.
I'm just bringing it up.
Hey, one of the positives
on
with COVID is the fact that we've gotten away from suit and tie every game.
I think it's the best thing that's happened to basketball, because guys look more comfortable on the sidelines. I think they interact better with their teams because of it. I think it's just. It's natural.
Every time you bend over, you don't have to worry about your pants, ripping. Speaking from Tom Lepper's experience there, not mine. But the other part is, and I've been lucky enough to lose a couple pounds, but a lot of suits don't fit anymore. Didn't fit after quarantine, so going the casual route is pretty good. And another thing I want to get off here before we leave is just impressed with Schuck. I mean, he comes in here with no paper. There's no writing on the desk. And comes up with some really good questions too. I had to write all my answers down on my hand that I won't show. That just shows the professional that you are, man. Kudos to you.
I just enjoy talking basketball with you guys. It's just we do it on a weekly basis when I come to practice or after a game, or sitting in the stands at another game when we run into each other. Talking basketball is fun.
It is.
It's simple as that.
Conversational.
Yep.
It is, and we're gonna have a lot to talk about Saturday night afterward.
Yep.
We'll see what mood you guys are in afterward.
Both being a good mood.
Who gets the golden microphone next time? That's it.
Well, there we go. Next year when we do this again, we know who gets the golden microphone.
All right. Just take it with me.
Thanks.
I'll edit that out, please.
Well, thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you Saturday night.
Thanks a lot, man.
Love you, brother.
For Quincy Notre Dame coach Kevin Meyer, for Quincy High School coach Andy Douglas, I'm Matt Schuckman. Thanks for joining us on What the Schuck, the podcast.
Hi, I'm Zach Kincher. I'm a physical therapist at Advanced Physical Therapy, the 927 Broadway location. And I want to talk today about one of our specialty services we offer, which is vestibular rehabilitation and treatment for vertigo. Vertigo is when you get up or down out of bed and feel like the whole room is spinning around you, and that can often be treated with just one treatment session. Vestibular rehab is more when you are walking or moving and you feel lightheaded or dizzy and like you can't walk in a straight line, or you feel off balance. And there's a variety of ways to treat that as well. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, reach out to your provider and have them refer you for an evaluation, and we can determine what the cause is of your symptoms and correct that as quickly as possible.